Dark Souls 2 fait partie de ces jeux avec lesquels on vous saoule maintenant depuis plusieurs mois, parce qu'on a besoin de partager avec quelqu'un cette attente qui se fait de plus en plus insoutenable. Heureusement, nous ne sommes pas les seuls, à l'image de cette communauté active de joueurs qui continue à faire vivre le premier Dark Souls par exemple, principalement un coup de speedrun. Prévu pour le 14 mars prochain chez nous, Dark Souls 2 nous a été lui présenté par l'un de ses producteurs, Miyazoe Takeshi, qui a bien voulu répondre à quelques-unes de nos questions. A commencer justement par l'influence qu'a eu cette communauté sur le développement du deuxième volet.
It's always interesting and it's always fun to see how the community is so strong and so close. The speedrunners are incredible. But at the same time, when we do develop Dark Souls 2, we try not to let that influence us too much in terms of the game design. From Software is a company that really focuses on what kind of game they really want to create. And what kind of game they feel the fans will be extremely, fun. What the fans will really have fun with. And so, the community talk is great, and we get a lot of great user feedback. But in terms of game design, From Software tries to focus really strongly on a game that they're determined to make.
Lorsque Dark Souls 2 avait été révélé, on avait cru comprendre que le jeu serait plus accessible, peut-être même plus facile, histoire de toucher un public plus large. Une information qui avait été évidemment démentie par From Software, le développeur japonais ayant de suite rassuré sa fanbase quant à la conservation de cette dimension sans pitié de son titre à venir. On pourrait alors se demander si l'équipe a subi une certaine forme de pression de la part des fans hardcore, et même si elle n'a pas été tentée de rendre l'expérience Dark Souls 2 encore plus impitoyable.
It wasn't that much pressure. Again, it's thanks to players like yourself who feel the sense of achievement and the satisfaction and the rewards from being able to overcome the difficulties. And I think I hope that's what a lot of players from Dark Souls really experiences. You're up with a difficult and challenging task at first, but as long as you're constantly thinking, learning from your mistakes, doing a lot of trial and error, and coming up with different strategies to try and overcome the challenges, you will always feel that great satisfaction when you're able to overcome. And I think that is the core element why players will come back to the challenges and why players enjoy playing Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. So the reason why we tune the game so it's challenging and difficult is because we want players to feel a really high sense of achievement. Obviously if the challenges are very low and you're overcoming it, it's like, yes. But when they're very high and you overcome, it's like, yes. And that's what we're trying to go for. So we are creating a difficult and challenging game. But again, ultimately we want players to be successful. We want players to be happy when they're able to overcome.
Dark Souls 2 proposera donc du challenge de bâtard, mais se pointera également avec quelques fonctionnalités susceptibles de changer l'expérience en ligne. Le jeu dispose en effet d'une option chat vocal pour ceux qui le souhaitent. Une feature qui pourrait éventuellement aller à l'encontre de l'esprit de la série, la solitude, la déprime et la cruauté de la vie étant les feelings majeurs que nous sommes censés ressentir en jouant, mais que From Software a toutefois souhaité inclure comme nous l'explique Takeshi.
I think it will provide a new experience. I think, for Dark Souls 1 and still for Dark Souls 2, there's that loose connection that you have with other players is something very important. And the way to communicate with players is either through blood messages or gestures. When you see somebody bow, you sort of get a sense of what kind of person that person is. And that was the extent of how you could communicate with other players. And I personally feel that, the voice chat during co-op is going to be something useful. It's going to be something useful when you're trying to come up with strategies to defeat a certain boss, I think. But at the same time, I think there will be players that will turn the voice chat function off just for that amount of solitude and just for that amount of loose connection. We're not necessarily encouraging one or the other. We just want to provide the option of players to be able to do it if they want and don't have to do it if they don't want to.
Le premier épisode reste encore aujourd'hui une véritable leçon de level design, et il semblerait que Dark Souls 2 propose une expérience quasi similaire, avec toutefois des zones un peu plus ouvertes mais toujours connectées. Le système de Covenant, qui fait un peu office d'alignement dans le jeu, a lui aussi fait l'objet d'affinements et d'améliorations, influant de manière un peu plus claire sur l'expérience online du joueur. Ce qui ne changera pas en revanche, c'est cette manière bien particulière de raconter une histoire.
Definitely. The storytelling methodology for Dark Souls 2 will be very similar to Dark Souls 1. What we want players to do is understand that they're in this world as accursed, and they're looking for the cure to this curse. But throughout the game, we want players to speak with NPCs, read item descriptions, and sort of roleplay to piece together their own story. And in that sense, there's going to be a lot of mystery, but there's going to be a lot of discoveries for players who play through the world.
On espère effectivement avoir beaucoup de choses à découvrir et sur lesquelles se faire plaisir, et on vous donne évidemment rendez-vous dans un prochain EXP pour une critique dans les normes en vigueur européenne de Dark Souls 2.